Hi, all of you. Good afternoon. Yeah, all of you. Good afternoon. Online, offline. So our no the trend of students जो preparation momentum had continues. I have seen across batches. The moment I hit Thursday or Friday, the class strength will fall. There will be some who will go out for a good, nice weekend party. Shayad Monday they come back. They might come back, and then again, okay, the 2 days before the weekend, you disappear. तभी भी वही देख रहे हैं. ऑफलाइन, ऑनलाइन इज अ बिट बेटर. शायद आप पार्टी में ही लैपटॉप ले गए हो, एक हाथ में कलम, एक हाथ में जाम. नो सुने ना, वेरी बोरिंग लाइफ देन. गुड आफ्टरनून सुशांत, रोहित. शादाब. Okay, okay. Good, nice. Enjoying the classes. Good, nice. Bada khana. Okay. Chalo, let's get on now. So, 2-3 quick clarifications on this. One of you again asked me the same question. He said, I did not find any questions on what you have taught. Yes, right. That tells you at least I'll teach you more than you pay for. Okay. That actually is comforting for me. चलिए कि आपने पैसे दिए थे syllabus के लिए, मैंने आपको extra पढ़ा दिया. Okay. Jokes aside, like I told you, some conceptual things you should know. If I directly jump into, determinism, possibilism, it will be like terrorism for you. Okay, so I do this slowly. किसी को मारना है तो धीरे धीरे मारा जाता है, ना. One nice stab में story over doesn't make sense. You should know some concepts first. Know the names, know the timelines. In fact, यही mistake आप लोगों से होता है when you are studying history. In history, even after 1-2 attempts, you still don't appreciate the timelines. किसके बाद क्या हो रहा है? And the timeline appreciation requires some bit of memorization. Okay, अब 1905 के बाद ही 1906 आता है, तो क्या करें? याद करो. 6 के बाद 7 आएगा, याद करो. Until Gandhiji comes in, we will not have some movements. Remember that? You have to know the timelines, because whenever I use the word, a subject is evolving, a subject is developing. The developments are not in vacuum. Some idea will come up, the idea will mature, there will be debates, and a new idea comes up. That idea will again develop, it will mature, you'll find gaps, फिर again कुछ debates होंगे, a third idea comes up. In fact, there was a theory on this also. Okay, there's a man called as Thomas Kuhn. I'll talk about him maybe in your classes of enrichment. Thomas Kuhn. Thomas Kuhn was a British scholar. He was studying how does knowledge develop. Okay, whatever knowledge we have, whatever content we have, subjects we have, uska bhi ek theory hai. Okay, so he is told that when subjects develop, first the ideas are loose ideas. Then somebody will consolidate that. Once consolidate that, the subject will get some kind of identity. That identity is what we called as the professionalism state. पहले loose concepts हैं, Greeks, philosophers, Romans, travelers, scattered knowledge है, फिर कोई इकट्ठा कर रहा है, okay, they're compiling encyclopedias, so much compilation. Now somebody says, let's put a sticker on it. It's a huge box we have, put a name to it. Put a name to it, it becomes a formal subject. And then it grows, there will be debates. And with every debates, a new idea will come up. ये एक proper theory है. It's called as Kuhn's paradigm of knowledge development. So हर subject में there will be a theme which will dominate. If you ask me today, what is the major theme in geography? Geography क्या? Across subjects. A very important theme is environmentalism. You read sociology, there's talk about environmentalism in sociology. You are say studying engineering, उसमें भी आता है environmentalism, how to best have environmental friendly techniques. Okay. If you're studying political science or geopolitics में भी, उसमें भी environment है. There's a huge geopolitics around climate change. So environmentalism is a dominant theme. वैसे ही in some ways globalization was a very important theme. हर subject में there is a chapter on globalization. So ऐसे themes will dominate. Okay. Today we live in times when lot of flux चल रहा है. We do not know who is the power, what conflicts. I mean, in my living memory, I cannot recall when I ever thought कि modern times में कोई country attack करेगा for expanding their boundaries. In fact, if you have done some bit of history, you understand something called as the Treaty of Westphalia. Okay, Westphalia Treaty बहुत important था. In that treaty, the concept of nations was developing. A nation is a country with a boundary, with a flag, with a constitution maybe, with some head of government. ये बहुत important idea है. Before the nations idea, ये empires थे. और empires के boundaries बड़े fluid होते हैं. A powerful king, attack, expand. A weaker king will disappear. But when the nations concept came up, it got consolidated. So I never in my living, thinking ever imagined 21st century में somebody will talk about territorial expansion and look at the impunity with which Trump says we want Greenland. Imagination भी नहीं है. Okay, but Trump says we want Panama Canal. We want Canada, he says, right? Imagine how outrageous it might sound, but it's a trend. Tomorrow, China can say so, Mongolia, okay, अंदर ले लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. India, I mean, I will not say which country India will want, okay, but we know what our aspirations are. Okay, Bhutan ही बोलेगा यार, मैं भी ले लेता हूँ नेपाल में भी. Okay, so these are trends. So in science हो या subject हो, every subject goes through an evolution phase and some ideas will dominate. Ideas you could not have thought about, but there is a common linking thread. Varenius would not have happened if there were no voyages. Voyages would not have happened if the Arab world did not control the Middle East, Jerusalem and all the trade routes. The Romans would not happen if the Greeks were not there with their ideas. इसमें link है. And without knowing this link in terms of chronology, you'll always struggle. So patiently, even if directly questions नहीं, but I'm giving you all hints कि कहाँ पर काम आएगा. In your syllabus एक topic है dualisms and dichotomies. देखा आप लोगों ने उसमें? Now it's a very innocent word, no? Dualism पूछ के छोड़ दिया. अब dualism में क्या पूछेगा? They can ask you Varenius. How is general geography and special geography part of dualism? Regional and systematic geography, वो भी type का dualism है. physical versus human geography, ये भी dualism है, dichotomy भी है. So I'm giving you leads here. Okay, so some of you have been a bit restless. Okay, syllabus शुरू नहीं हुआ है, नहीं शुरू हो चुका है. आपको लग नहीं रहा होगा. Okay, that's because of maybe you are not mentally into it. Okay, so have patience. I will move into your topics eventually, and maybe I have in some ways. Oh, Shweta, that's nice. So बेटा, और ये सब चीजें ना खत्म करने वाली चीज नहीं है. Your friend is telling us she has interest in Upanishad and Jiddu Krishnamurti. I maybe lighted some spark there. अच्छी बात है. But understand, these are very deep concepts. इसको patiently, ये किताबें खत्म नहीं की जाती है. उठाया, पढ़ लिया, खत्म हो गया. No. You read again. Okay, you will have to think, invest, maybe make some notes, again read. Okay, so it's a ongoing process. But good, I'm happy you are exploring some of this. Okay, so just to comfort here, we are on track. Okay, I will move you into proper concepts. In fact, आज से शुरू ही हो गया more or less. So revising quickly, I hope you can recall the Greeks. Okay, वही sequence में Homer, Thales and Examander, Hecataeus, we have Herodotus, Plato, Aristotle, Eratosthenes. ये वाले 6-7 of them are the main ones. Romans, thankfully 2 of them we should know: Ptolemy, mathematics, cartography, map making, and Strabo is into the literary regional descriptive paradigm. He writes about continents, places, and very importantly, Strabo establishes why we need geography. Geography to understand resources, geography to help good administration, geography for helping the empires conquer and conquest. So geography has some element of practical utility, not simply curiosity to know the world, not simply about let us discover new things. Okay, so he finds lot of practical ideas, and this idea of Strabo is also echoed by Varenius. वो भी यही कहते हैं ना कि special geography में we will study trade, study commerce, we will study governance, we study how governments are made. The human aspects of Varenius also has elements of what Strabo was suggesting as the objective of studying geography. Okay, so Ptolemy and we have Strabo. Then Dark Age, you have some idea about how absurd science was reduced to, and crazy ideas about Earth and universe and maps. Voyages changes things. Voyages opens up domains. You know more about the Earth. We are mapping the Earth better. We have now maps. Thankfully, the TO map is now discarded. Proper navigation maps hai. Now the center of learning now becomes Spain, Portugal, patronage and the kings. And with the age of voyages, once geographical knowledge starts exploding. Okay, now we have the role of Varenius saying that we need a science to study all this diversity. इतना कुछ हमें पता है, and like I said, he himself was a much travelled man, a young man, a brilliant brain, a man of mathematics, geography. He is travelling, and he has been to as far as Thailand, Siam. Siam is Thailand, and he writes about the places there. He says, now I need to put all of this into one subject, and he called the subject as geography with 2 branches or 2 approaches. The general geography, which is about the earth in general. In general का मतलब है no one place. Earth का shape in general, Earth's density in general, the oceans and continents in general, the climate of the earth and its relationship with the other celestial bodies in general. So when I say general geography, I am not talking about any one particular place, not any one particular location. In general, one continent, compare that with another continent. That is called general geography. And general geography, because you're dealing with general concepts, it says you can use mathematics. If winds moves in general, I know what speed, how the pressure can be used for understanding wind movements. Because in general, I understand gravity. Okay. Because in general, I understand how oceans are forming, how the continents are forming, how the rocks are forming. So in general geography, it says we can use principles of natural sciences. You can use physics, you can use chemistry, you can use biology. Okay, you can make laws, generalizations also. Okay, but special geography is about one place, its landforms, its people, its climate, its forests, the local soils, and the specific ones are so unique. Say, you talk about India, no other place in the world has Ganga type of river. No other place in the world has Western Ghats type of mountains. No other place has the place called as Delhi. No other place has the monsoon type of forests of India. So, itna unique mein, you cannot make a law. When something is unique, something is found only in a particular place, you can only describe the details there. I go to a place and this is what I am seeing. I am describing whatever I am seeing. ये जो fundamental debate है, geography is descriptive or is geography law making? Is geography regional, studying uniqueness of a place, or does geography study things in general across the world? This was a debate that went on till 1960s. We have heard about this term called as quantitative revolution and also areal differentiation. ये उसी का ही offshoot है. So this is one of the core debates. Okay, that is one of those guiding concepts in geography. Geography, because if geography can make laws, if geography has general facts, then geography is like physics and chemistry. If geography can't make laws, if geography can describe and geography study human aspects, then then geography is more like sociology. Geography is more like your humanities subjects. ये हमेशा एक tug and pull and push रहा है. Okay, is geography more like general sciences or is geography more like the special subjects which study uniqueness of a place? And the genesis of this you can see in the early geographies also. Okay, so the general versus special geography. The general versus special geography, इसके बहुत सारे forms रहे हैं. And this debate goes on right up to, I said, 1960s. Okay, general geography means the methods of natural sciences. General geography means laws making and generalizations. General geography means a study of themes. आप कोई जगह नहीं पढ़ोगे, आप themes पढ़ोगे. Theme like let's study winds. Themes like let's study ocean currents. Themes like let's study forests of the world. The general geography is the methods of natural sciences. General geography is law-making generalizations. General geography is thematic study. इसी theme study को बोलते हैं systematic geography. Okay. Whereas in comparison, special geography, they will use methods of humanities. Okay, this is not law-making. This is more descriptive in nature. They will study a uniqueness of a place and the specifics of a region. You can all take it down in your notes. Okay, as an extension to what I discussed yesterday, general geography. Okay, what are the other correlates of general and special geography? So general geography is methods of the natural sciences. General geography is laws making and generalizations. General geography is thematic study. I take up a theme. The theme is, I said, forests of the world. The theme is mountains of the world. I am not focusing on a place. as focus on one phenomena or one event, earthquakes of the world, volcanoes of the world. Okay, it is thematic. ये thematic को बोलते हैं systematic also. Thematic is also referred to as a systematic. Okay, another alternate word. And special geography is the methods of humanities. Okay, and humanities may you have more descriptive methods, not lawmaking. Okay, in special geography, you focus on the uniqueness of a place. You focus on uniqueness, how one place is different from the other. When I'm saying it is thematic, thematic with the focus is on the commonalities. So, River Ganga has a floodplain, Changzang has a floodplain, Mesopotamia has a floodplain, Nile Valley has a floodplain, Mississippi has a floodplain. So, generalization, all large rivers will deposit and form floodplains. I hope you got the point here. ये commonalities हैं. Okay. Heavy rainfall in Malabar, tall trees, evergreen trees. Heavy rainfall in Andaman Nicobar Islands, tall trees, evergreen trees. Good rainfall in Malaysia, in Congo, tall trees and evergreen trees. Good rainfall, Amazon, tall trees and evergreen trees. So my generalization is, all places which have good rainfall throughout the year will have dense forests with tall trees and evergreen species. When I am making laws, I am focusing on what? Commonalities, how things are same across locations. Because I am focusing on commonalities. That is why I am making laws. Otherwise, laws banenge nahi, right? In comparison, okay, the special geography focuses on uniqueness of a place. India ka Western Ghats is nowhere else. India's sandalwood forest is nowhere else. India's, okay, maybe the mountains, Himalayas, the way we have in India, nowhere else. So when I focus on uniqueness, how one place is different from another, it now becomes special geography. Or special geography mein, you have now the idea, local soil, local forest, local people, local government and so on. इसी approach को, यही approach, general approach को, making laws, इसी को एक और term use करते हैं, nomothetic. It's also called as nomothetic approach. Nomothetic approach means law-making approach. It's also called as nomothetic approach, laws-making approach. Okay, and this approach is called as ideographic approach. Called as ideographic. Ideographic approach. Ideographic का मतलब होता है focusing on the uniqueness of a particular place. Ideographic approach. This term ideographic and nomothetic. ये term था. This term was given by a German scholar called Hettner. Hettner in 1870s में he gave this term. But genesis of this is again Varenius. And this general versus special, इसी को हम बोलते हैं systematic versus regional. Same thing. It also means systematic, which is thematic. Regional means special. So, regional and systematic can be used interchangeably. Sorry, regional and ideographic or regional and special can be used interchangeably. Yes, Alfred Hettner, correct. Hecatius, no, Hecatius just wrote one of the early books that is like a regional geography work, that's all. उतना ही जानना है कि regions approach भी somebody had done earlier, that's all. Yes. Yes, पूरा सिलेबस तो वही है और क्या है?
But we have also studied.
So somebody else will come and tell that. अभी हम जो पढ़ रहे हैं, in this study, Varenius says, human geography, the important part, understand, the way geography is organized right now, okay, is not same as what Varenius was telling us. So today, we have found methods कि human geography में भी law लगा सकते हैं. But when Varenius was there, he said, don't do that. तो वो सब बाद में आएगा.
There are much more deviations. There is.
ये क्या मीनिंग हुआ?
Cannot be saying the law will be followed when it comes to human beings.
Therefore, we call those as probability laws. Laws based on assumptions. They are normative laws. ठीक है? वो सब आएगा धीरे धीरे. Okay, some of you have done some topics earlier. So, see, understand one thing very clear. What Varenius is saying is not what we are studying today. Today, geography has changed much. Today, some people say, ये differentiation गलत है. That's not how geography must be classified. We find lot of specifics here and we find lot of generalizations here also. So, I am sticking with right now what is Varenius saying. And there was a debate, I am saying. I am not saying debate, आज भी वैसे ही चल रहा है. After 60s, the debate was ultimately over. Okay, so there was this phase of QR and things will change thereafter. So, but right now I am just initiating what these terms mean. So, your point is valid, but we'll move on towards that eventually. Anybody else here? And Varenius is very clear, right? He is, according to Varenius, human geography में laws नहीं बनते हैं. Human geography is difficult to quantify. Human geography is difficult to, generalize. That's why he says कि मुझे मजा नहीं आता human geography पढ़ने में. But there are examples where human behaviors are also quantified. One small example. You take an Uber ride, come out and they ask you, rate us in your satisfaction level. Satisfaction is a subjective idea, correct? और जब रेटिंग लगा देते हो, आपने नंबर दे दिया ना उसको. It is 4 out of 5. I put a number to that. So we have methods now where even human aspects can be quantified. आपका AI क्या है? AI is one type of human thinking को, it is putting it under mathematical dimensions. Algorithms क्या है ultimately? They're able to find patterns in your behavior, and that's how YouTube can suggest, okay, whatever you have been looking for. I hope you got the point here. एक बार मैंने क्लिक कर दिया YouTube में, कांटा लगा सॉन्ग, ठीक है, वो आपको काला चश्मा भी दिखा देगा. How does YouTube know that? It has found a pattern in your human choices. It has found generalization. Oh, this man likes this type of songs. This man likes this type of maybe websites. It has found a pattern and now it pushes it. So way back 1750s में Varenius could not have thought that. Okay? So this is what Varenius says, and how Varenius' ideas say the debate has now expanded. The geography for Varenius is two types of geography, but he was very sharp in saying that the two types are not mutually exclusive. Both need one another. I cannot make laws till I have special geography, and if I have general geography, I help appreciate special geography better. This was a very smart thing to say. Do not see these two approaches as divorced from one another. You need both. You cannot pick and choose. I will do this, I will not do this. You cannot do that. You need both. The geography, that sense, is still a subject that includes general also as specific. Is it okay, all of you here? Why? Why does India have Himalayas? You need a general law called as tectonics to understand why Himalayas are formed. Why does northern plain form specifically in northern India? You need a general law called as rivers can erode and deposit. तो अगर ये लॉ नहीं है तो आपकी समझ में भी नहीं आएगा. That's how the link बनाना है. ठीक है? Yes. यार क्रिश, अभी गूगल को छोड़ दो. Okay. You can get confused there. You stick to what I'm saying. Okay. ये खाम का यहाँ वहाँ ढूंढ ढांड के don't confuse yourself. Yeah, Krish, thanks. Compare Davis, American physiography, cycle of erosion, special geography. अतुल, ये कुछ ज्यादा सोच लिया आपने. Yes, you can, but that is not the focus right now. Davis model is a bit different. Okay, not a type of regular laws, but yes, what type of example we have, not saying no. Acha, I'm moving on. Any other doubts in this? Anybody? Any queries? Any questions on this? Any clarifications? Yeah, Mudit, correct. Nomothetic, correct. Right now, as I'm developing geographical thought, please don't get distracted in trying to know more. Your work is class notes को समझ लेना and whatever page I tell you in the textbook उसको पढ़ लेना. That's all. And memorize that. याद कर लो. You know, fingertips, who are the contributors, what they have said. No opening anything beyond this right now. Akash, Varenius used these two words. General and special is Varenius terms. Other people will use other terms. Okay, so when you say Varenius, आप यही बोलोगे. He talked about general versus special, and the general versus special manifests in other debates also. बाकी लोगों ने भी कहा है, okay, general and special in another set of words. Is it okay, all of you here? Chalo, let's move on then. We are moving on to next one. The contributions of Immanuel Kant. Ye 1750s, almost 100 years after Varenius had given his ideas. The contributions of Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant. Some books write his name with I, otherwise with E. Immanuel. Immanuel Kant. Again, a man of German origin. He is a professor of mathematics, and from mathematics he has got into metaphysics. And metaphysics is, beyond the domain of material. I give an idea to you, metaphysics. Now, Kant essentially was epistemologist. Epistemologist. Now, what does this term mean? This term basically means he is a scholar of knowledge. Okay. Epistemologists, they study knowledge in general, not any one subject. I am a biologist, I study biology. I am a physicist, I study physics. I am a mathematician, I study mathematics. This man will not study any one subject. He studies knowledge in general. Something like, I'm a physics professor. I go and look for physics books, and I'm only concerned about physics books. I'm a biology professor or a biology scholar. I look for only biology textbooks. Okay, I look for only mathematics textbooks. I'm looking for only history textbooks, history books, history magazines, history journal. अब इन सब के ऊपर में एक और बंदा है called as librarian. A librarian will not specialize in any one subject, will he? But he knows, this section is a physics section, organize the books there. This section is a mathematics section, organize the books there. So think of epistemologist as a librarian who's organizing all the bodies of knowledge. Because see, there is something called as the principle of monoism bolte hain. This principle says that all knowledge starts from something which is one. And as I know more, I can't handle it, so I will specialize. Okay. As I know more, okay, again I will specialize. पहले सब कुछ अर्थ था. While knowing more and more, इसे divide कर देते हैं. Land and air. Then I'm dividing. Land में भी of living things अलग हैं and non-living अलग है. I'm dividing. So as I know more, I will again subdivide. Okay, I'll try to specialize. Earlier, all doctors were one doctor. Pet dard, sar dard, operation, whatever, one doctor. Hakeem Saab ja rahe. Right? Slowly, gradually, okay, they divided. A surgeon and a medicine man. You know a bit more? The medicine guy now bifurcates. He is a man of maybe a kidney specialist. He is a heart specialist. Surgeon can become cardiothoracic surgeon. He can become neurosurgeon, specializing. But ultimately, all converge into what? One knowledge. Okay. So the epistemologists, उनका main काम ही होता है कि knowledge कैसे organize हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है. How is knowledge developing? How knowledge is progressing? Okay. How are they organized? Just study that. So Kant was an epistemologist, and when he is studying all body of knowledge, like a librarian, उन्होंने पूरा library arrange कर दिया, and he finds यार एक subject में ना एक knowledge में काफी gaps हैं, which is the knowledge of the earth. So Kant is not a geographer, but Kant is arguing about the fact one body of knowledge is not developing properly. And that body of knowledge is the study of the earth. Okay, that's how he gives geography its legitimacy. Then he says, all knowledge को हम classify कर सकते हैं under, okay, a physical knowledge and logical knowledge. Don't write now. First listen to this, okay? So Kant, I said three things. One is, Kant is an epistemologist. An epistemologist is trying to organize the entire body of knowledge. In doing this, he finds that there is a gap in the body of knowledge called as the knowledge of the earth. बाकी mathematics बहुत advanced हो चुका है. He's seeing the works in astronomy. He's seeing the works in biology. He sees a lot of work is being done under botany, under chemistry. But earth के बारे में ज़्यादा knowledge है नहीं. Then he says, all knowledge I can classify under two type of approaches. How are they studied? One, he says, the study which is physical in nature, where it's all about studying something which exists in reality, which has to be seen, okay, which has to be measured, which has to be experienced. This knowledge depends on something actually existing and studying it. And one more knowledge is the knowledge I get by logical reasoning. For example, right now it is say 12 o'clock. आगे क्या होगा मैं देखा तो है नहीं, right? I have not seen what's happening in the future, correct? But now it's 12 o'clock. Can I use my logic and say, okay, it will become 2 o'clock, it will become 5 o'clock, sun will set Okay, and sun will rise again. Can I say this? मैं इसमें क्या यूज किया मैंने? I use a logic. There's a pattern to things happening. I have not seen it. None of us have seen it. But the pattern is such that I can use my logic. Okay. I have not measured कि क्या होने वाला है. But I can use calculations and say exactly 5 hours from now sun will set. Because एक pattern है. That's a logical knowledge. Okay. I have no idea. I have not seen what happens if somebody jumps out of a window. ना मैं देखा है, ना मैंने experience किया है. But can I apply logic here? If I jump out, okay, because my weight is this, I will fall at this speed. I will hit the ground at this time. And these injuries I will sustain. How do I know that? I'm using logic. I'm using some kind of reasoning here. Yeah, reasoning, okay, is only possible in some things which are governed by some generalizations. So if I tell you there is an animal found in Antarctica by the name of XYZ. ठीक है, मैंने आपने देखा नहीं है, आपने सुना भी नहीं उसके बारे में. But the animal which lives in Antarctica, can you guess something about it? You can guess. Animal है तो it will breathe. Animal है तो okay, it probably reproduces also. Okay, अगर animal है, okay, as a big animal, it will have some kind of fur in the skin also. I'm imagining. But the imagination is not random, right? It's based on a logic. So this logical study uses generalizations. Is it okay, all of you here? This is one type of study. Then there's one study. मैंने कहा एक जगह है called as ABC. कहां पर है, क्या है, मुझे नहीं पता, बस एक जगह है. Tell me what that place has. बताओ उसमें कहां माउंटेन है, बताओ उसमें कैसे लोग रहते हैं, बताओ whether it is forest or desert है. You can't answer that, right? How can you answer that? Only when you physically go and see it. I have to go there and I have to observe, or I will meet somebody who comes and tells me ऐसा जगह है where the trees are okay 50 meters tall. एक ऐसा जगह है no rainfall. Okay, a year called okay 700 BC. There was a man. Tell me what language he spoke. Can you apply any logic here? Tell me what type of clothes he was putting on. No logic here. I would have seen him or heard about him, or I've seen a photograph about him, or I know more details about him. Only then I can say what type of man he must have been. I hope you got the point here. So there are two types of knowledge. One knowledge which I can study using logic, and one knowledge which I can study only if I know its physical existence and I have evidence and proof of what's happening there. This type of knowledge uses mathematics. This type of knowledge will be based on generalizations. This type of knowledge is based on logical reasoning. This type of knowledge needs senses. See is sense. I should hear, I should see, I can touch, I can feel, I can smell. Without senses, I can't use logic here. So Kant says that this type of knowledge is the natural sciences, like mathematics, like physics, like chemistry, like biology. And this type of knowledge is, he says, two knowledges. One is knowledge about places and knowledge about history. ये दो में आप लॉजिक नहीं लगा सकते. Yes. that is somebody else who will tell that to us. This is what Kant is saying. ये बहुत important है. Okay. When Kant is talking about knowledge, he says knowledge is of two kinds. Others will come and challenge this. Others will say कि नहीं, यहाँ पर भी आप लगा सकते हो logic. You're not wrong. But in the words of Kant, he says that knowledge is of places which can't use generalizations, and knowledge of time can't use generalizations. Okay. The place study he called as, okay, the time study is called as a chronology. Chronology is not the logical sciences according to Kant. And the place study called as chorology, which today we know as geography. So in Kantian classification, can geography make laws? No. In Kantian classification, can geography have logic? No. Can geography use mathematics? No. So this is a very tight classification of knowledge. And remember, ये Kantian knowledge है. In Kantian approach, geography and history are different from the other bodies of knowledge. Geography and history are unique and exceptional to other bodies of knowledge. He says, in my body of knowledge, ये वाला area खाली पड़ा हुआ है. Somebody must develop this. While we have history, while we have physics, mathematics, the chorological studies of the earth are not well developed. With this, Kant gives geography a solid foundation. But geography is no longer an adjunct of curiosity alone. अब geography का एक identity बन गया. Geography is the study of places. And the study of places that we achieve through physical examination and description of a place. This gives geography its identity. Now geography with Kant and Varenius has now become an independent discipline. Of geography is neither history, geography is neither any of these either. Yeah, some thought here? Yeah, I'll give you notes. Wait, I'll give you notes. पहले आप बोलो, is it sinking in or not now? Remember, I am in pre-classical geography phase. And pre-classical geography phase का main काम था, geography gets a philosophical foundation. Somebody must say that geography is a subject that can stand in its own right. Geography is a subject that is not an adjunct to other disciplines. Geography is different from the others, and therefore geography must develop. It's like, in a house, in a home, father, mother, children, grandfather, and all of that. Okay. The day I appreciate, or this child, who is maybe the youngest child, he is not extension of all of us. He is also an individual in his own right. और इसके ideas भी अलग हैं, इसकी भी औकात है. Then that person has now become a mature gentleman or a lady. And I think many houses में ये problem होता है. Youngest one is always like, okay, चुप रहे, क्या ही जानता है तू, okay, क्या बोलेगा, जो मैं बोलूंगा यही बोलेगा, right? ये होता है with women also at homes. Okay. Wife क्या बोलेगी, जो husband बोलेगा वही बोलेगी. Okay. अभी हम बहुत सहमति से रहते हैं. मैं जो बोलता हूं वो सब वही बोलती है. ये अलग बात है, मन में गाली आ रहा है, कुछ बोल नहीं पा रही है. But then I acknowledge, this lady has an independent mind. She can also think. She can differ. She also has opinions, and her ideas also matter. Then this person has an identity. तो यही हो रहा था with geography. For a long time, geography was an extension of mathematics. Geography was extension of traveler's curiosity. Geography is, ठीक है तो है, ऐसा कोई subject थोड़ी है. But the day Varenius says, geography is a unique subject, study of earth in some ways. And Kant comes and reinforces it. The study of places कोई और कर ही नहीं रहा है. Then geography becomes an independent subject in its own right. Make sense, all of you here? Yes, tell me. I will not say contradict, but yes, in some ways he is differing. वो next step होगा. How are they different? How are they same? वो बाद में आएगा. पहले बताओ, can you appreciate what Kant is doing right now? Kant is giving geography a unique place. Unique place in the body of knowledge as the knowledge of places which cannot be studied using mathematics, which cannot be studied using logic. Geography is about a place and study through senses alone. आप जो कह रहे हो, so Varenius says geography is general geography जिसमें laws हैं. Geography is special geography जिसमें descriptions हैं. And both need one another. Kant comes in. Kant says जो जनरल वाला सब्जेक्ट्स हैं ये लॉजिकल सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, ये ज्योग्राफी नहीं है. फॉर कांट ज्योग्राफी इज द स्पेसिफिक्स ऑफ अ प्लेस. So for Kant, geography is only this. Yes, Kant is challenging Varenius. Kant says geography has no business to get into making laws. Geography has no business to use mathematics or logical reasoning because वो geography का nature ही नहीं है. It's like, I appreciate the fact that you must study history and IR and environment and economy, but I am a geography teacher. मेरा कोई role ही नहीं है in any other subject. I am unique, different, so don't ask those questions. Somebody else can say, as a teacher, my purpose is not geography, my purpose is to help you qualify. So, which means, maybe geography मेरा core domain है, but where possible, let me help you in economy also. Where possible, let me help you in GS topics also. ये तो perception debates हैं, right? इसमें right wrong थोड़ी है. There is a Kantian view of things, how he classifies and how he argues. And there is a Varenius view of things, how he classifies and how he argues. अब right wrong कौन है, ये बाकी लोग बताएंगे, not you and I. Other scholars will come and then they'll debate. Oh, I am for Varenius. I am for Kant. I think Kant is a good logic. Let geography be only this. Others say, no, geography must include all of this also. That's where the debate starts. So Kant is taking a position. Geography is different from the logical sciences. Yes. Kind of, but dichotomy geography में नहीं, dichotomy knowledge में. Geography तो बोलता है यही geography है, geography है ही नहीं. In geography, yes, Kant is very against geography making laws. Yes. He uses both. He says this type of studies will have laws making deductive approaches. This you're right, because it's specifics. He will encourage inductive approaches in geography and history. Correct. But ultimately, वो laws की तरफ जाएगा नहीं. Study inductively, but don't generalize into a law, according to Kant. The first behind the foundations and recognition of geography, not first Akanksha, because Varenius आ चुके हैं already, right? Varenius has come 100 years before him. So we give both of them the credit. Varenius and Kant together make geography as a subject possible. हालांकि both saw geography in different ways, but both agree कि geography is about places. Our place का क्या करना है? Okay. One says about the place, take knowledge and make a law. Other says no, take knowledge and keep it like that. But both agree geography is the study of places, locations, is diversity. One says take the facts and generalize into a law making. Other says take the knowledge and keep it because geography has no business to go and make laws. तो क्वेश्चन है लॉ बनने चाहिए कि नहीं? आंसर यस, लॉ बनने चाहिए, पर जोग्राफर नहीं बनाएगा. एकदम डिपार्टमेंटल ब्यूरोक्रेटिक कंट्रोल है. राइट, आई विल नॉट सी बियॉन्ड माई डिपार्टमेंट. माई डिपार्टमेंट इज ओनली दिस वन, स्टॉप हियर. आगे काम करना है, पहले फाइल पास करो. The other guy will do the work. You have no business to enter into law making in geography. Yes, something of that kind, Himanshu, correct. Anybody else here? Hey, polymath has interest in many things. Polymath knows many things. Okay. But this guy studies everything as a part of one body of knowledge. I can have an interest in physics and mathematics and chemistry. मेरा approach ये नहीं है कि वो link कैसे हैं और कैसे organize किया है. वो approach नहीं है मेरा. Okay. Epistemologist is curious about how knowledge is developing and how knowledge can be classified. A polymath knows lot of things. The librarian, he may know nothing about science. He just knows कि अच्छा इस type का content है तो ये science वाला ही है. A librarian doesn't need to have interest in reading novels, but he knows कि ये fiction है, इसको यहाँ रखो. So epistemologist is not necessarily always a polymath, but if he knows, fine, he is a better human being that way. Knowledge. Yeah, when he study what? He will not become a geographer, right? He is studying how knowledge is developing and how knowledge gets organized, but not studying any one subject in particular. हालांकि roots of Kant was mathematics and metaphysics. So if you look at the book that he wrote, I think I gave the book yesterday. Kant wrote a book called as Critique of Pure Reason. He wrote a book called as Critique of Pure Reason. Reason क्या है? Logic है ना? He says all knowledge cannot be logical. That's why he is a critique. Knowledge also includes lot of knowledge acquired through senses, evidences. So not all knowledge is always mathematics. Not all knowledge is always about making law generalizations. That's why he says, I have a critique of pure reason as a body of knowledge and science. एक चीज याद रहे, Kant is not saying कि geography science नहीं है. Okay, science means something which is objective, which is not speculative, something which is not imaginary. वो science है. Some sciences are mathematical sciences. Okay, and other sciences can be empirical sciences. Science or conclusions arrived by actual examination. जैसे हरप्पन सिविलाइजेशन और आज की डेट में वो चल रहा है किलड़ी एक्सकवेशन. It's a modern urban settlement. How do I say that? I don't say urban modern because मेरे गांव में है. मेरा गांव है, मेरा गांव ग्रेट है, तो अर्बन होना ही होना है. That is speculative one. ये अर्बन है बिकॉज मुझे लगता है अर्बन है. क्यों लगता है? बस भगवान जी आए थे, ओके, एंड व्हेन आई वाज इमेजिनिंग किलड़ी वो यू दिखाई दे रहा, तो अर्बन यू होगा यू से. दैट्स अ स्पेकुलेटिव वन. समझ रहे हैं यहां पर? बट अर्बन है बिकॉज लुक एट द ब्रिक्स यूज्ड. ब्रिक इज अर्बन. Urban है because look at water management, it's an urban. Urban है because beads हैं, cardinal beads हैं, coins हैं, trade हो रहा होगा. Trade means it's some kind of urban settlement. So if I'm concluding something based on evidences, वो भी science है. So history भी science है, understand this. History में laws थोड़ी बनते हैं, but history also has a scientific method. So all knowledge according to Kant is science, but they can be science based on logical reasoning, or they can be science based on study through senses. So these are the science, okay, based on physical evidences, or a science based on logical reasoning. Is it okay all of you here? So chorology, geography as chorology is a very unique subject which other subjects cannot claim or duplicate. Chorology is different from history. Chorology is different from mathematics. So therefore chorology is a valid subject. Therefore chorology is a valid, a unique, independent discipline. Okay? So Kant establishes geography's philosophical foundations. Yeah, Hemant. Okay. आप topic बोल रहे हो, we're talking about knowledge in general. Before you write down something, open up your textbook, please, all of you. So we have these in page number 38. Page 38, 39. All of you, please get hold of your textbooks as quickly as possible. किताब नहीं है तो चोरी करना चोरी कर लो. Okay. When your friend is going to washroom or drinking water, गायब कर लो उसी टाइम में. तो नाम जिसमें लिखा है वो पेज फाड़ देना. Okay. Otherwise, take some xerox of some copies, take a PDF, whatever works. Without the books, you cannot study these topics. Okay. I've given you some ideas. स्कूल में होता था ना, notebook is found some other's bag, and the boy is surprised. पता नहीं मेरे बैग में कैसे आया? Okay. और जनरली गायब होता था एग्जाम के पहले, right? So some of us were the reasons, other were the victims. Okay. Okay. Let's start off. My book can be targeted. बेटा मैंने इसमें शराब दे रखा है. जो लेगा उसका जिंदगी के 3 खानदान ही निकलेगा आईएएस का. तो आप तो इसको चोरी करना है, कर लो. तो आप अपनी किताब में वैसे दे दो, ऊपर लिख देना जो चोरी किया उसका 1-1 मार्क्स रह जाएगा प्रीलिम्स. ठीक है? In UPSC, all of us will get superstitious, trust me. After 1-2 attempts ना, okay, if ant नहीं है, ant को भी नहीं मारना, पता नहीं पाप लग जाएगा. तो ant को भी ध्यान से उठाकर, okay, भगवान इसी के भरोसे निकाल दो प्रीलिम्स. सबका भी धागा चढ़ेगा, लाल पीला नीला हाथ में. ओके. 1 ट्रिप टू वैष्णो देवी तो बनता ही बनता है. ओके. Yes, I have done that already. Anybody who does piracy of my notes, okay, तुम्हारा नहीं निकलेगा और हमेशा 1-1 मार्क्स से रह जाएगा. और अगर निकल गया ओबीसी पेपर फंस जाएगा. Yeah. Okay, let's talk good things. So, placing geography in the classification of sciences, the contributions of Immanuel Kant. As I am, in your notes, please mention the page numbers, okay? Page number 38, 39, Dikshit. Okay. So, I'm reading the key sentences, you keep underlining with me. the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, a contemporary of a man called Malt Brun. He was a professor of logic, metaphysics in the University of Königsberg, and his attraction to geography was by way of his interest in explorations for the acquisition of empirical knowledge as part of his general philosophical research. So he was not a geographer, that's the point here. He was just curious कि knowledge कैसे acquire किया जाता है. I'm not a doctor, but I'm curious about how people heal. I'm curious about what pain a patient suffers and how he gets well. Okay, so in that curiosity, I do some study of a patient and illness. So his attraction to geography was not because he was a geographer, was by the way of his interest in explorations for the acquisition of empirical knowledge as a part of his general philosophical research. इसी approach को बोलते हैं, he is an epistemologist. He is keen about how in general knowledge is acquired and knowledge is studied. Kant's lasting contribution to geography lies that he provided a philosophical foundation for the subject as a field of scientific enterprise. Again, that's important. Geography science hai. Geography is not a speculative subject. It is science, but science unlike the other sciences. Geography is science, but not like science of biology, not like science of physics. So he is giving geography a philosophical foundation as subject the field of scientific enterprise. Now he says that there are two different ways of classifying phenomena for the purpose of academic study. In one, the phenomena are grouped according to their nature. This nature is not nature is outside. Nature is in terms of its properties. What is my nature? I am an angry man. I am a gentleman. What's my nature? I am a tall man. I am a short man. What's my nature? Okay, I have this color of skin, that color of eyes. So this, when I say nature here, it means in terms of its inherent characteristics. Okay, you can group phenomena in terms of the nature, and the other according to the position of occurrence in time and space. Like say, I take up a plant. There are three ways I can study the plant. One is, plant का nature क्या है? It's a living thing. Plant का nature क्या है? It is a tree. Plant का nature क्या है? It is evergreen. Plant nature क्या है? It's a flowering plant. Okay, I'm studying a body in terms of its nature. Second, in terms of its time, मतलब कितना old है बताओ? It is 20 years old. It is 100 years old. Okay. Second, in terms of place, ये कहाँ मिला था आपको? Found in India, found in Japan, found in Himalayas. Anything I take up. Okay. Talk about a body called as X. इसका nature क्या है? It's plastic. It is non-living thing. It is rectangular shape. ये nature हो गया. In terms of time, इसको बनने में कितना time लगा? It's with me since when? Third, where found? On the table, in the room, found in XYZ place. For anything, the three things I acquire about a body. What is its nature? What is it in terms of time and space? I repeat. He says, okay, there are two different ways of acquiring knowledge. One is in terms of nature, and the other according to the position of occurrence in time or space. Okay? Space is location, time is in terms of its time. The first type, the nature is पढ़ते हैं हम. The first type is the field of learning called as logical classification. If something is non-living, logical, it will not reproduce. Logical, it will not breathe. Logical, it will not eat. Logical, it won't grow. अगर ये non-living है तो, अगर living है logical, it will have respiration, it will need nutrition and so on. Okay, so to study the nature, I need logical studies, and the second is called as physical. Logical classification gave us a series of systematic sciences. Systematic sciences, okay, like I said, zoology, physics, chemistry, and so on. Whereas, okay, on the other hand, the physical classification provided a scientific basis for the historical and spatial sciences. The former means historical. The former is concerned with the arrangement of positioning in terms of time dimension. The latter is spatial. The latter with the arrangement of phenomena in terms of space dimension. So, any body studies in three ways. Study in terms of its nature characteristics, which gives us a series of logical sciences. Study in terms of time and place. Time you're arranging in terms of its temporal aspect, history, and space in terms of its location. And it says, in short, okay, grouping of diverse character and origin on the basis of area matlab hai jagah, area in horizontal space provided the matter of geography. Okay, grouping of phenomena in terms of time sequence gave us the matter of history. In short, geography studies phenomena which lie side by side on Earth's surface, and therefore it is chorological. Chorological is in terms of location, place. वो है कहां पर? The other is called as chronology. As Kant pointed out, both history and geography are essentially descriptive in approach. Geography, history mein, you can't apply laws. You cannot apply generalizations. Both history and geography are descriptive in approach. History being description of time dimension and geography is description of the space dimension. Is it okay all of you here? When I explaining, I am doing it with other set of words. The book has a formal language to it. आपको करना क्या है? Summary में the class notes plus whatever important word you can pick up from here, please use it. That gives your writing some bit of technical base. Okay, it gives your writing a sense of mature writing. Is out of talk, we'll take time. Xerox le lo Akash, PDF le lo, whatever you can. Okay, you can buy. देखो, what I'm teaching you is in other books also. उसमें ढूंढना पड़ेगा आपको. I can only tell you line by line in this book. The same ideas बाकी किताब में भी आप ढूंढो फिर उसको. Fine, it's okay. The physical classification, yes, correct, Varsala. Geography and history are in the physical classification of knowledge according to Kant. So Kant will say, so ये जो approach है, that physical classification is geography and history, and the logical classification is other sciences. That geography and history are a unique and not like these. Geography and history are unique, they are exceptional and not like these. This principle is called as the principle of exceptionalism. कि geography का यही status है. Geography is different from the others. Geography is unique than other subjects. Okay, and this is called as the exceptionalist claim for geography. Geography का अपना approach है, geography का अपना purpose है, geography is not like other sciences. Therefore, don't use geography, okay, in other subjects and don't use other subjects' methods into geography. This is called as Kantian exceptionalism. Is it okay all of you here? Take some notes now. Yes, Tanish, correct. Yes. Akash, try it. You can try that, no worries. Write down. So, keywords, okay? The first point is, Kant was trying to organize the body of knowledge. Kant was trying to organize the body of knowledge as an epistemologist. was trying to organize the body of knowledge according to an epistemologist. Next point. According to Kant, there are two approaches in science. According to Kant, there are two approaches in science. Number one, the logical approach. The logical approach that studies characteristics of a body or an event. Logical approach that studies the characteristics of a body or an event in terms of its inherent nature. In terms of its inherent nature. Logical approach applies to all natural sciences. Applies to all natural sciences. And branches of knowledge like physics, chemistry, biology, botany, of knowledge like, it applies to bodies of knowledge like physics, chemistry, biology, botany, mathematics, etc. Number two is physical approach that studies a body or an event. Physical approach that studies body or an event in terms of its time and space dimension. In terms of its time and space dimension. Next slide down. Knowledge under physical classification can be studied and verified. Only by physical examination. Can be studied and verified only by physical examination. Using senses. Put hyphen. See, hear, touch, feel. Using senses. You can see things, you can hear about things, you can touch, feel, you can smell. Okay. So, senses means there must be a physical examination. You cannot use logic here. You require actual physical evidences to this. Yes, I down. According to Kant, next point, according to Kant, knowledge when studied through organization in time, is chronology studies. and it makes up the subject of history. And it makes up the subject of history. Next, knowledge studied in terms of associations in space and location. Studied in terms of its association in space and in location. Is chorological study. C-H-O-R-O-L-O. Chorological study. Which is identified with geography. Okay. So Kant used the term chorology, and chorology is the geography, the way he defined as study of place and locations. I say put a star mark and write down. Okay. So geography is chorological sciences. Geography is chorological sciences and is unlike history or natural sciences. Is unlike history and natural sciences. ठीक है, इसको आप अंडरलाइन करो, ये इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. For Kant, geography as chorological sciences. For Kant, geography as chorological sciences cannot employ methods of natural sciences. Geography as chorological sciences cannot employ methods of natural sciences. That is, geography by nature is descriptive in approach. By nature is descriptive in approach. And so is history. And so is history. ठीक है? तो ये जो कंक्लूजन है कि geography is unlike other subjects. Geography is not like logical sciences. Geography can't make laws. Geography studies only associations in locations. And geography is descriptive. This makes geography unique from others. And we call this as the principle of exceptionalism. Write down. This identity of geography. This identity of geography as a unique subject, and descriptive in nature, as a unique subject and descriptive in nature, and unlike natural sciences, is called as the principle of exceptionalism in geography. It's called as the principle of exceptionalism in geography. Underline that. yes वत्सला, yes. बस ज्योग्राफी और हिस्ट्री को अलग कर दिया इन्होंने. And geography is unique. Okay. Although method of geography is the method of history. Both are descriptive. But history is study of anything in terms of time dimension, and history is study in the space and location dimension. It's called as the principle of exceptionalism. Kshitij, wo jaane do. We skip that topic. Okay, all of you here? But देखो ये अपने आप में ना ये बहुत बड़ा डिबेट है. Okay. Other scholars, some of them will agree with this, and others will again challenge this. Right? Right now, next, give us a heading. Consequences of geography. The consequences of geography under exceptionalist claims. Consequence of geography under exceptionalist claims. Kishlai, partly yes, but not entirely. Okay, partly kya, mostly for that matter. Okay, now consequence ye tha, the lot of later scholars will have this debate because dekho, both of them are very powerful thinkers. Ek to Varenius hai. Varenius says geography is special, plus geography is also general. You start from special, you make laws, and through laws you also appreciate special. यहाँ पर कांत आ रहे हैं. Kant says geography special ही है. In Kant's geography, general doesn't exist. So now the debates will start. Some scholars will agree with this approach. Others will say, no, this is the approach for geography. Ultimately, the idea is that we are defining the scope of geography. कि geography को करना क्या चाहिए? As geographer, what should I study? As geographer, where are my boundaries? As geographer, what subject domain should I specialize in? यही debate चल रहा है. It's not saying that mathematics superior है, inferior है. Okay. The idea is, as geographer, what should be my reach in terms of knowledge acquisition? Write down. Later scholars like Richard Hartshorne. Later scholars like Richard Hartshorne, 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 an American. And Hartshorne का मतलब है, I'm talking about 1930s and 1940s की बात हो रही है. Scholars like Richard Hartshorne were in support of Kantian exceptionalism. And defined geography in the chorological paradigm. They were in support of Kantian exceptionalism and they defined geography in the Kantian paradigm. Okay, within bracket, okay, this was the concept of areal differentiation. ये आपके syllabus में है. Of Richard Hartshorne. Hartshorne ने ये idea दिया था. The geography is areal differentiation. Areal का मतलब होता है area, as in place. You're differentiating, studying, okay, the diversity across places. So when Hartshorne gave areal differentiation, he is in support of Kant's idea of geography as chorology. Okay. Next, Others like Ackerman. Others like Ackerman, A-C-K-E-R. Ackerman, and people like Schaffer, S-C-H-A-F-F-E-R. Others like Ackerman or Schaffer dismissed Kantian exceptionalism. They dismissed Kantian exceptionalism and tried developing geography as logical sciences. And they tried developing geography as logical sciences using mathematics and developing generalizations. Using mathematics and developing generalizations. Ackerman ने कहा कि जो आप कर रहे हो ना कि ज्योग्राफी इज अंडर फिजिकल साइंसेस और फिजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन एंड ज्योग्राफी इज नॉट लाइक हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी इज नॉट लाइक दिस, एंड यू आर टाइंग डाउन कि ज्योग्राफी का मतलब यही है. He says this is isolating geography. Geography is not using the benefits of other knowledge. In today's time, we talk about, remember, multidisciplinary thinking, where you must converge knowledge, okay, study across domains. आपका GS देखो क्या है? In GS, there's no boundary as such. Okay, you have got geography impacting economy, impacting social issues, polity, economics impacting IR. They all link to one another. And when you say कि नहीं geography को हम ये डब्बे में डाल देंगे, and it has no relationship with history, it cannot make laws like this, okay, then you are isolating geography. इसमें geography can't develop well. Geography will become a very boring subject, only describing places. Geographer का कोई incentive ही नहीं है. Okay, अगर describe ही करना है तो give a camera to anybody, वो जाके उठाता रहेगा photograph. Somebody can document that. There's no thinking analysis if geography is only describing a place. So there are scholars who dismiss this claim of geography as an exceptionalist subject. और यही debate, write down, उसी में add करो. Okay, such an argument led to the development of quantitative revolution. Such argument led to the development of quantitative revolution in geography. In the 1940s and 50s. In the 1940s and in the 1950s. Yeah. Yes.
And on the other hand, in 1930s, Arthur conventional current giving generalization.
ये सारा डिबेट जो है ना, कम बैक अगेन, ये सारा डिबेट ज्योग्राफी फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी है और ज्योग्राफी ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी है. ये डिबेट जो चल रहा है ना, ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी में चल रहा है. Arthur Holm is here. फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी में मोस्ट स्कॉलर्स एग्रीड, यार यहां लॉ बना दो, अल्टीमेटली आई एम बोरिंग फिजिक्स, राइट?
Kantian physics was first. In nature, it was special. And on the other hand, we have studied of various. It will be general and specific.
Yes.
So we have accepted the theory of Varenius that the geography, a portion of geography will be
ह्यूमन. जनरल तो होगा, वो एक्सेप्ट कर लिया हमने. यहां डिबेट चल रहा है मेनली. I'll come to that afterwards. Nice point. He says, I mean, some of you do not know this. On one hand, we say geography can't make laws. But ये भी fact है, by the time we have 1930s, 40s, ज्योग्राफी में बहुत डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहा है इन ओशन स्टडीज, इन एटमॉस्फेरिक स्टडीज, इन टेक्टोनिक्स में डिस्कवर किया जा रहा है। तो डिबेट अल्टीमेटली वाज कि फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, देखिए प्रॉब्लम आता है ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी में। कैन ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी मेक लॉज और नॉट? कैन ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी रिमेन ओनली डिस्क्रिप्टिव और नॉट? विल कम बैक ऑन दैट, बट नाइस क्वेश्चन, गुड पॉइंट। Can't special geography study its logical approach? Yes, it can, but Kant said no. ये बहुत important point, all of you remember this. We are not debating about geography in general. We're debating on what Kant is saying. और हमारा advantage ये है कि we have the advantage of knowledge after Kant also. हम अभी कह रहे हैं बैठ के नहीं ये भी होना चाहिए। When Kant is talking, Kant does not have geography developed yet. He's taking a pole position. Now, when Nehru is planning for India, he doesn't have a model to plan on. Okay. ना डेटा है, ना पैसे हैं उस टाइम में, बस एक जोश है, एनर्जी, यहां कर लेंगे हम लोग। And he must make a choice. Will he make India a rural economy, farming, agriculture, Gram Swaraj? Or will India become a modern Western country? He's making a choice. And he made a choice. नहीं, ग्राम व्राम करके यार हम 200 साल फंस गए with the Britishers. India must become modern. He says, okay, let's go the way of modernization. Let's make factories, dams. Let's make large steel plants. Let's make big ports. फिर 50 साल के बाद में अरे यार एग्रीकल्चर छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए था हमें। Then he said, okay, let's go after green revolution. So these are, okay, evolutions in our choices. Okay, 50, 60, 70 साल के बाद में looking behind I can say, पढ़ लिया होता क्लास 6 में, okay, अरे पढ़ लिया होता क्लास 10th में, अच्छे मार्क आ जाते, थोड़ा तो पढ़ना था, कितना पढ़ना था। Okay, so Kant does not have the advantage of the hindsight you guys have right now. He is making a choice. In this organization of things, he thinks geography is unique. अगर देखो, अगर geography unique नहीं बोलते, फिर geography बनता ही नहीं। Then it was like, I mean, if somebody doesn't say the computer science unique subject है, अलग subject है, it is not electrical engineering, then why people will join the new domain? So, to establish geography as a unique subject important था. Otherwise, geography would not become an independent subject. उसके बाद डिबेट हो रहा है कि अच्छा चलो ज्योग्राफी में ये भी ले आते हैं and so on. So it's not about Kant being wrong. It's about how Kant perceived the significance of geography in the domain of knowledge. Take all of you fine here? But I'm happy you're seeing dimensions there. You're seeing कि इतना strong boundaries नहीं होना चाहिए. But Kant says, okay, that this is what makes geography unique. Yeah. अभी नहीं, अभी उसने पूछा इसलिए कह रहे हैं। अभी पूरा ज्योग्राफी की बात हो रही है। वो पार्ट भूल जाओ, he doesn't exist. ठीक है, we'll grow into it, don't worry, we'll grow into that. Is it okay all of you here? Anybody else? So now you understand why I'm saying it's pre-classical geography, why I made the statement that in the pre-classical geography phase, geography was being established as a possibility as a modern subject with its own identity, own methods, and its own scope and approach. Okay, so Varenius and Kant made geography possible. Give yourself some time. एक बार notes देखो. Want to have a doubt clarified? Let me know. Yes, Tanish, correct. Lavanya, तब उनको पता नहीं था. Afterwards, they have done that. Yes. What we do is generally for the first couple of sessions, I keep my classes open. So Kishalaya says, sir, ये class किसके लिए है? टाइम पास चल रहा है किशलया, टाइम है, भूख लगा नहीं है, कुछ मीठा हो जाए टाइप्स। इफ यू थिंक इट्स ओवर्दी आप करो, अदरवाइज जान दे। प्रणाम संजीव, यू आर लेट फॉर नेक्स्ट क्लास और अर्ली फॉर नेक्स्ट क्लास रादर। Rohit, explain your concept, what I mean by logical approach and the characteristics. Yes, Preetha, correct. Yes. बताओ, any doubts, anybody? Problem with most of us, क्या है पता है? Life में पहली बार सोच रहे हैं. We're thinking for the first time while studying. Okay. So some gray cells which had slept, अब वो जागने की कोशिश कर रहा है. Otherwise, it's a very logical discussion. इसमें कोई rocket science नहीं चल रहा है. The logic. This is this, this is this. Like a story going on. All good? Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome, Arya Jyoti. That's the best thing could have said to any teacher. So I enjoy learning. Please welcome. So Varenius ideas, Akanksha is different from Kant. Yes, Kant is challenging Varenius in that sense. Correct. For Kant, geography cannot be lawmaking. Kant was just a dude trying to dominate this notion. Ah, yeah, the cool dude. Right? Yeah. Achha, I think you have some idea. I can move on now. All of you done? So, yes. 60s? No. 1800s. तब तक ज्योग्राफी एस्टैब्लिश्ड, बहुत डिबेट्स हो चुके हैं उसमें. Yes, yes. It was part of one debate. QR. Geography है नहीं, geography is possible, geography बन गया, अब डिबेट चल रहा है, डिबेट से पुराने आइडियाज भी आ जा रहे हैं. कंट्री बन गया, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेड, पार्लियामेंट मेड, 70 साल के बाद में हम सेकुलर हैं या नहीं है. समझ में आ रहे हैं? यहां पर कंट्री इज डन, वी हैव डेवलप्ड, वी हैव डन वेल. अब डिबेट शुरू हो जा रहा है. ओके, शैल वी डेवलप इनटू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, एग्रीकल्चर, मेक इन इंडिया, नॉट मेक इन इंडिया, डिबेट चल रहा है. So all debates can come back. All ghosts can come back to get trouble you again. ठीक है? अब डिबेट होगा, हम इंसान भी हैं या नहीं. ओके, या फिर जो इसको इलेक्ट किया हमने पार्लियामेंट में, वो कौन से स्पीसीज है? ठीक है? Yes, correct. The debates can go on even after it has been established. शादी हो गई, बच्चे भी हो गए. Now wondering क्या यही सही था या नहीं था. ओके, तो अच्छी तो पड़ोसी थी, उसकी दोस्त अच्छी थी बेटर. And I'm hoping the दोस्त think the same about me. So these debates can always come back in some other form. Correct, you're right. Acha. Now take a fresh page. Modern geography. Modern geography, this is the classical geography phase. The phase of classical geography. Okay. I'm talking about, I said, early and mid 19th century. मतलब 1800 की बात कर, 1830 and 1840s. the phase of modern geography. Okay, the phase also called as the phase of classical geography. Okay, so इस phase में okay, geography is now established as a subject, and we have called this phase as, remember, it is the professionalism phase. अब geography एक profession है, geography एक department है. Okay, the classical phase of geography or the professionalism phase of geography. ठीक है, and geography is now established subject. इसमें two people are important. One is, and both of them German, Alexander Humboldt other is Carl Ritter. Two contributors to this phase, Alexander Humboldt and Carl Ritter. And in some ways, okay, they are, at the core of geography as a modern science. That's why both of them are referred to as fathers of modern geography. Both have contributions. Fathers of modern geography. And very interestingly, both of them were contemporaries. Both of them, okay, Germans. Both of them are known to have worked together and even exchanged notes. Plus, which is, of course, variations there. And incidentally, both of them died the same year. And the year they died was the year when Darwin published the origin of species and gave the theory of evolution. 1857. And that year is when geography again changes. There's almost like an important demarcation in geography's development. Okay, so the works of Humboldt and the works of Ritter, I said, both of them are called as fathers of modern geography. Okay, they both have contributed. Achha, now, sun lo pehle. Why do we say that this is the phase of modern geography? It's a modern kya tha? What was new in this? So, one very important aspect of modern geography is that modern in the sense that the geography consciously now promotes the idea only fact-based studies. Okay, so that there was, it's like, एक था आपका loose descriptions. From the loose descriptions, observations, somebody compiled encyclopedias. Encyclopedias which were considered as cosmographies. An encyclopedia which was, I said, part fact, part fiction is called as cosmographies. In cosmographies mein, when I remove the speculative things, when I remove the things which are imaginative, then I call it as universal sciences. Because encyclopedia में सब कुछ है ना, अब सब कुछ है, उसमें कुछ imagination भी है, तो मैंने वो part हटा दिया. So I moved on towards what's called as universal sciences now. In this phase, geography was developing from cosmography towards a science of universal sciences. That's one element of modernism. कि आपने हटाया fantasy. अच्छा. Second very important thing is, now by time we have 1800s, knowledge has kind of exploded. Newton, Galileo, the theories of Kepler, physics, thermodynamics, a crazy amount of knowledge we have. And people are increasingly more and more specializing. They are getting into more fine details. And while specializing, what happens is, science now gets fragmented. It's called as atomization of science. It's like, I'm a doctor. Okay, I specialize. I become a surgeon. I specialize. I become a oncosurgeon, a surgeon only of cancer. I specialize further. Oncology only of brain tumor. Understand how deep I am going into fragmentation here? Itna fragmentation mein, I forgot his brain is actually part of a human being. Okay, so when we have too much of fragmentation, the unity is lost. So somebody says, yeah, ye wapas leke aana padega unity. So this modernity, I said number one is you are removing the speculative concepts. You are making geography more and more evidence-based. So it is science, it is modernity. Second type of modernity was the geography is no longer cosmography. Geography is more like the universal sciences minus all speculation. The third modernization was the geography is now trying to unify knowledge now. Knowledge which has become fragmented. Knowledge which has become too specialized. Somebody says, let's put them together. Question is, who will put them together? Geographer says, hum kar denge aapke liye. Because geography already studies land, water, forests, atmosphere, agriculture, studies even parts of urbanization. If somebody must unify, geography can unify. Now geography becomes a kind of a unifying discipline. आपके syllabus ऐसे ही तो है और क्या है? Why with geography? A good part of a GS is done. Why? Geography का nature ही ऐसा है. Geography will study environment. Geography studies conflicts and geopolitics. Geography studies environment, climate change. Geography studies urbanization. Geography studies population. Geography studies inequalities. If somebody must organize all knowledge into one head, okay, it's like it was one body of knowledge, you specialize it. अब वापस मुझे जोड़ना है. ये जोड़ेगा कौन? Geography. Humboldt and Ritter do this. They say the purpose of geography is now unify all knowledge. Geography is the basis of organic unity of the earth. हम अपने convenience के लिए अलग अलग कर दिया हमने. ये land है, ये water है, ये forest है, ये atmosphere है. It's for my convenience of study. In reality, all of them are linked. The atmosphere is what drives the oceans. The oceans is from where? You have got sediments. The sediments becomes the fold mountains. The fold mountains becomes the continents. The continents eruption again creates volcanism. The volcanism creates atmosphere. ये part process तो है और क्या है? The geography is now a unifying discipline. ये जो approach था, again a very modern approach. The Humboldt and Ritter in the modern geography are doing these 2-3 things. Yes. So when geography is now unifying, now can geography have dichotomies anymore? No. This was a phase when geography में अब debates नहीं रहे. सब कुछ part of geography है. Geography is no longer this and that, but debate हट गया. Geography physical है या human है, regional है या world के बारे में, all debates are over. This was an age when geography has no dualisms. Geography is one unifying subject, and that was the modern concept in geography as a science. Take all of you. अब Humboldt का approach क्या था? We'll study that and different from what Ritter was saying. Both had the same objective. Geography is in fact organic unity of nature is a very powerful theme of Humboldt and Ritter. Geography is where the earth gets unified. इतना unified that both of them said, एक काम करते हैं, let us write one geography book. And in that geography book, सब कुछ होना चाहिए. The geography book must have world's places, world's climates, world's forests, world's people. It must have the history of the world. Everything must be in that one book. And Humboldt said, this will be the work of my lifetime. If I can compile everything you know about the earth at one place, that is what geography will become. This type of encyclopedia, okay, Humboldt was writing and he called that as the cosmos. And the same encyclopedia that Ritter wrote, he called it the Erkunde, German, which means the earth. And you can imagine what colossal project they have taken up now. Sara knowledge, every knowledge, even plants, animals, types, classification, Sara डालो geography के अंदर में. Geography is the culmination of the subjects maturing into the diverse state that it is in. Yes, Heman. And geography में Humboldt says इसमें astronomy भी डाल दो. We call that as uranology, the study of planets, stars, satellites, again into geography. So this approach was different from the approach of geography before Humboldt and Ritter. Take all of you. So back to your notes now. Write a few points, then we will. Yes. Yes, they did. Okay, but not mathematical equations, nahi, but mathematical in terms of empirical exact studies. इसको हम बोलते हैं positivism. Yes, it did come. Yes. Geography is oceans where all rivers. Yeah. Okay. Tanish, you have got a bit romantic. Yes. Okay. Geography is the ocean where all rivers of knowledge come and merge. Yes. अब मैं वहीं पर डोंगा चला रहा हूँ. Okay. आपको बैठा के घुमा रहा हूँ. Yes, Tanish, right. एकदम right. We are on a cruise in that ocean. Achha, right now. The modern phase of geography. Modern phase of geography under Humboldt and Ritter. Under Humboldt and Ritter is because of the following. Is because of the following. Number one, geography was no longer any type of speculative. Geography was no longer any type of speculative or imagination studies and ideas. Was no longer speculative or any type of imagination or speculative ideas. Geography was exact, objective. उसी में geography was exact, geography was objective. This was the consequence of positivism in geography. This was the consequence of positivism in geography. ये जो positivism था, I'll just give you some points here. Positivism is a philosophy. This philosophy was given by French historian, Comte, Auguste Comte. Positivism. And Comte's idea was that when you are studying history, history ultimately hai kya batao? History is what? Interpretations of the past, right? अब कौन लोग थे Harappans, who were the Gupta people? Ashoka के बारे में we did not know till the 19th century. Ashoka has been put together by some historians. Ashoka, the greatest king of India. If you look at India ka size maximum kab tha? Two kings gave us the biggest map of India, Ashoka and Aurangzeb. Okay. The biggest map you can think of India. and Ashoka was lost. We didn't know about Ashoka at all. यहाँ कुछ edicts हैं, वहाँ कुछ edicts हैं. I think it was the Musky edict that confirmed that Ashoka existed. Otherwise, Ashoka was referred to in some literature, Buddhist literature, वो भी श्रीलंका में. Somebody had to put it together, right? So, इसने ये बोला, उसने वो बोला. Then it starts coming together. So ultimately, Ashoka is an interpretation. Harappa, हमें क्या मिला हरप्पा में? Couple of artifacts. और उससे हमें कहानी बनाना है. Remember this. So August Comte says that अगर history पढ़ना है, make sure history is not speculative. Otherwise, you always risk going down the rabbit hole. To prove your own culture superior, आप तो कुछ भी कह दोगे, right? I found some artifact in my garden, in my house, in my region. अब मुझे दिखाना है कि मैं बहुत बड़ा इंसान हूं, तो मैं क्या बोलूंगा? I am a product of that, and that is superior, so I am superior. ये डिबेट चल रहा है और क्या चल रहा है? Between the north and south debate क्या है? The debate of Kiladi is what? If Kiladi is right, and if Kiladi's urbanization is starting from 800 BC, which means the urbanization of Tamil Nadu is starting from 800 BC at least. Or 800 BC में, okay, you have got later Vedic and Vedic times of northern India जो agrarian है. Okay, वो थोड़ी आपका modern रहा. Harappa was urbanized. Vedic was rural economies. अगर ये prove हो जाता है, Dravidian will now say we are superior than you. Dravidian will say we are the inheritors of Harappan civilization. Here's the debate है. So history is interpretations. Auguste Comte says that when you are interpreting, make sure वो speculative नहीं. You have to have exact facts, no emotions, okay, no preferences, exact fact. Burnt brick, a proper process. Burnt brick means urbanization. Water management means urbanization. Trading community means surplus production. You are a modern society. So in history, Auguste Comte says the conclusions must not be based on emotions, on preferences, must not be based on cultural evaluations. It must be based on hard evidences. अगर evidence हो Harappan civilization was Aryan or not का दो चेक है. अगर हरप्पा में आर्यन मिल गया और हरप्पन में अगर घोड़ा मिल गया. Horses and iron are evidences of Harappan as Indo-Aryan. And they found horses but at very superficial layers, not in the deep layers. Harappan was Bronze Age. The Bronze Age में आर्यन फिट नहीं होते. Okay, what the point here? यही है positivism. To conclude about history to exact verifiable evidences. No speculations, no guesswork. ये बहुत powerful thinking है. अगर science बनाना है subject को, take out emotional values from it. अगर science बनाना है, remove preferences from it. Remove your cultural biases from it. That way, the subject becomes now positive. So positivism का मतलब होता है science. और जहां पर culture है, emotions हैं, we call that as negative science. So geography में, if I want geography to become scientific, I must bring in evidences-based study. So Humboldt brought positivism into geography. But positivism originally was what? It was part of the historical works of Auguste Comte. Bhumika, we don't use the word positivism for Aristotle, but we do have some elements there also. Correct. ठीक है? The first and see, ये सारा discussions you don't need in the answers. In the answers, you just need the appreciation of geography is positivist. That's all. अब उसका क्या कहानी है? All of that to help you understand. ये कहानी जरूरत नहीं in your answers. ठीक है? So the first point was geography is modern. Why? Because geography was able to cleanse itself or purge itself of all speculative ideas. Geography now has exact evidence-based study. Geography is now positivist in approach. और ये लिखा आपने पॉइंट, Humboldt introduced positivism, लिखा है? नहीं, लिख लो, within bracket write down, Humboldt introduced positivism to geography. Geography now becomes an exact science, no longer a speculative, imaginary science. That's why this is the phase of modern geography. Humboldt introduced positivism into geography. Not every time. Okay. Philosophy may be logical thinking, and philosophy acknowledges कि speculation भी एक type का knowledge है. ठीक है? So that will not make philosophy as unscientific. Okay. I acknowledging कि आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है. Okay. Although emotion is speculative, but गुस्सा आ रहा है, I can measure and record it. That's science. तो philosophy भी science है. आज के डेट में every knowledge is now scientific if done in a process. Even painting can be scientific. The process I follow must be some kind of standardization. ठीक है? ये जो आपका 3D printing क्या होता है? It's like a art form which has now been mechanized. Robots can do carving now. Right? Robots can do artistic operations now. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Yeah, your ChatGPT does Ghibli art, correct? Okay, an art which was subjective, you have got that into standardized. Yes, so her subject is now scientific that way. Point number two. Point number two is with this, geography evolved from cosmographical studies. Geography evolved from cosmographical studies to universal science approach. From cosmographical studies to universal science approach. So within bracket, cosmographical is what? Cosmographical is encyclopedia compilation, which is part fact and part fiction. Cosmographical approach means encyclopedia compilation, which is part fact and part fiction. Okay, that's why geography becomes modern. I moved on from cosmographical tradition into universal science tradition. Third one. Okay, geography was seen as the science of unifying the body of knowledge. Geography was seen as the science of unifying the body of knowledge. Geography as countering the atomistic tradition of मैंने अपने knowledge को तोड़ दिया into atoms. Countering the atomistic tradition of specialization in sciences. Atomistic tradition of specialization in sciences. ठीक है? Geography as a unifying discipline. Geography now is emerging as the mother subject now. Okay. And the next point is the core theme of geography as studying the organic unity of earth and nature. The core theme of geography as studying the organic unity of earth and nature. सिर्फ knowledge unified नहीं है, पूरा earth unified है. I mean, if you've heard about the idea called ecosystem. इकोसिस्टम्स का ये फंडामेंटल यू कैन से प्रिंसिपल है that everything is linked to everything. Everything has interconnections. Everything operates through flows and cycles. Everything has some kind of organic linkage. That's why we need to have Earth's appreciation also as a part of an interdisciplinary concept. तो ज्योग्राफी क्या कर रहा है? ज्योग्राफी यूनिफाई कर रहा है. क्या यूनिफाई कर रहा है? It's unifying all knowledge, which has now become super specialized, destroying the unity of knowledge, and geography is now unifying study of Earth itself. Some of you know about El Nino and La Nina, yaad hai? Where events of Pacific Ocean impact Indian Ocean. An example of unification of the world systems. What happens in polar regions impacts the droughts and climates of tropical areas. So, who will do this unification? Humboldt said, geography can do this. Geography is a subject of unification of Earth itself. In fact, Humboldt used a term. He said, in nature, everything is linked. He used a term, some men hang. This word, some men hang, basically means hanging together. The earth में सब कुछ is hanging together. You cut one link, the whole thing will collapse. Add करो यहाँ पर. Humboldt asserted the concept of ZU, some men hang. ZUSAMMEN. Zusam men hang. German word which means hanging together. Use Zusam men hanging together to describe the interconnectedness of Earth and its systems. To describe the interconnectedness of the Earth and its systems. And just for a sake of an idea, ऐसा ही कुछ कांत भी बोल रहे थे. But Kant used another term. He used a term called as Ganzit. This also means some kind of unification. So other scholars बोल रहे हैं. In fact, even Varenius is talking about this. Remember when Varenius says, special geography में, ये सब कुछ साथ पढ़ो. The climate, the soil, occupations, the settlements, the governance, and उसको फिर unify करो under a common law. And let the common law explain the specifics. Somewhere, Varenius also hinting geography can unify things. You are unifying people, the settlements, their governance, their economy, and even the physical world together. But Humboldt says this with more conviction. And he says, geography का purpose यही है. Geography's purpose is to establish how the earth is unified in terms of its functioning and its existence. So, वही add कर लो, within bracket mention that this concept of unity is reflected in how geography was interpreted by other scholars too. The element of unity was also reflected in how geography was interpreted by other scholars too. हम जब बात करते हैं ना अपने in our philosophies, the whole idea of ब्रह्मांड क्या है? The whole idea of Advait क्या है? You're seeing the unification, isn't it? Advait is essentially no dualisms. all combined into one unity of existence. इसके अलग अलग नाम दे रहे हैं, फिर अलग different philosophies में. So in the German philosophy, there is a concept called as, absolutely. In Chinese philosophy, इसको टाओ बोलते हैं, टाओ और डाओ, which basically means harmony. Or if you heard about this idea called yin and the yang, सुना आपने? The black and white, the male and the female, the birth and death, day and night. ये जो opposites they combine together, जो harmony है, in Chinese philosophy is called as Tao. Tao is the harmony of everything. Harmony में the philosophy is move with the flow. Harmony में fight नहीं होता. What you see in earth as disruptions, जैसे disruption थोड़ी है, वो तो nature है. Nature में death होगा, nature में volcanoes होंगे, nature में floods होंगे. You resisting that, वो problem है. So geography as the science of studying that unity. हर philosophies में है. Humboldt Ritter brought that into geography. Yeah, Dao or Tao. It's called, it means basically harmony. Harmonious path. So it has been part of other subjects. क्या लिखा आपने? Interpreted by different scholars. And add here that Kant used the phrase Ganzheit. Kant used the phrase Ganzheit, Ganzheit, to refer to harmonious existence. To refer to harmonious existence. Okay. The next point. Therefore, in the age of Humboldt and Ritter, there was no dichotomy or dualisms in geography. There was no dichotomy and there was no dualism in geography. General है या specific है या physical है या human है, all these debates had collapsed here. Humboldt kind of unified geography as the subject of organic unity of earth and the nature. Is it okay, all of you? अच्छा, एक जहां पर लिखा आपने Zusammenhang, the point before this, margins में put a star mark and write down. Relate this with the concept of regional synthesis. The concept of regional synthesis. So come back. ये वाला आपके syllabus का part है. A synthesis basically means what? Something's combining together. Synthesizing is combining. Opposite of synthesis is analysis, is breaking. You're breaking things, analyzing things, going deep and breaking it up. When you combine them together, we call that synthesis. Geography का एक important theme है. How is geography a science of regional synthesis? तो यहाँ से आप कुछ उठाएंगे for your discussions. Is it okay, all of you? Fine. Chalo, that's for today. From the textbook, you will add the topics of Kant. Varenius kar lena. Tomorrow I'll tell you about what to mark for Humboldt and Ritter. And itna topics aap master kar lo, please. Now we can start off with proper geography the way it is. Okay, lovely. I enjoyed the same. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Pooja. Bye-bye.